Hey everybody, this is Troy, and I hope you're having a great day. Uh, I'm gonna try to give my life story slash testimony here. There's a lot of stuff that I've got to leave out because it'll just be too long, and I'm not gonna say certain people's names out of respect for the people and things like that. So just bear with me, and everything that I'm gonna say, it all does have something to do with me eventually coming to the Lord Jesus as I am to this day. So everything will have something to do with it. So just bear with me, and hopefully this won't be boring. So basically it just start off with, you know, I was born and raised Southern country boy in North Carolina. My parents, both sides of the family, are Christian people. You know, they're born and raised that way as well. I've got a younger sister, just about 4 years younger than me. Our parents raised us, you know, learning the Bible. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Thank you. Just politeness. The best way I know how to put it, I was raised to be what's called a Southern gentleman. So, you know, that's just the way it is, you know. And most everybody around you is Christian people. Whether they live it or not, that's, you know, that's people are Christian people. And so basically, with that being said, you know, when I was a child, obviously I don't remember because I think, just a few weeks or a few months old. But my mother, I got really sick, and my parents said they had to rush me to the hospital, and I had pneumonia, and I think my temperature got up to like 104, 105, and stayed that way for a while. I'm sure my parents were probably praying hard and probably about to have a nervous breakdown, and said, thank the Lord, they finally got me straightened out, you know. So that's the Lord saving me right there when I was a little child. And, you know, as I'm raised up, my mother and father uh, taught us to love people, love the Lord, and even love animals, especially my mother. She loves animals. She'll take in stray kittens, dogs, what, she's just that way. Just a little funny quick story with that to tell you how she was with that and taught us to be the same way. Uh, I remember being like in kindergarten, and she was taking us to the school bus to meet where they picked us up. And it's a little dirt road, and there was a squirrel on the side of the road, and she thought it was hurt and was going to try to rescue it. So she gets me to get out and go check it to see if it's, you know, still alive or whatever. And I was pretty sure, yeah, I don't think it's made it. And so I took my foot and nudged this squirrel with my foot. And as I did it, somehow its claws actually got stuck in my shoestring. So now this squirrel that just a few seconds ago I was pretty certain was a goner is now making an attempt on my life. uh, and I'm sitting there jumping and hollering and shaking my foot and just going crazy. And it finally kind of comes off, and I'm like, okay, yeah, no, he's gone. So anyway, that's how we were raised. You know, you help people, you help animals, just whatever. That's what you do. And so I started school, and I had a lot of friends. I done good in school. I was an athlete from a very young age. I was really good at sports, and I played everything. And so I'm going to school. Everything's great. T-ball, little league, football, everything, basketball, and even making the honor roll up to like the third grade. And it gets hard for me to talk about a little bit. I'm kind of shaking a little. If you see the camera shaking, it's because I'm shaking. But uh, I've never talked about this before out in public. When I was little, and you got to understand, when I was coming up I was a little kid in the 80s, and you know, you didn't hear about things like OCD. You just stuff. The only thing, not here anyway, maybe in bigger cities, but where I'm from, it was not a thing. You know, there was no such thing as obsessive compulsive disorder. Uh, and I realized as a little kid that I was doing stuff over and over. Like if I set a cup on a table if it wasn't setting just right, I couldn't stand it. I'd have to lift it back up and put it back down. Lift it back up and put it back down. Switch a light switch on and off. I was, if I, for some reason, I don't know why, I would just have to do it like ever so many times. Uh, and it, like when I try to go to bed at night, I would lay down and I would have to like raise up, lay back down, raise up, lay back down, fluff the pillow, raise up, lay back down, fluff the pillow. And I don't understand. I just remember thinking to myself like, why? And my parents like, I guess they thought I was just doing something weird. I don't know, because like I said, back then, and any of you that growed up in the 80s as a kid too, and that's, you know what I'm talking about. It just wasn't a thing. You did not hear about stuff like this. And I just remember like seeing people, and I was like thinking to myself, I don't understand what's wrong with me. Like, why can I not be normal like all the other kids like them? What's wrong? Something's wrong with me and I don't know what. And over the years, I learned how to hide it. You know, I learned how to hide it, and just, you know, some people might notice it. And one thing, and this will come into play later, if I was playing sports and doing stuff like that, it didn't affect me. I didn't bother me not one bit, whether it was practice, a game, whatever. It didn't bother me. But just as soon as practice was over, as soon as the game was over, and I'm going back, it starts back. So I don't know if it's like my mind was just like preoccupied with what I was doing. I don't know. I really don't know. All I know is that's the only time it seemed not to affect me is if I was doing something like playing baseball, football, whatever. And so I'm in school, and I was, like I said, getting honor roll stuff and doing good through to the third grade. But when I get in fourth grade, between this OCD stuff and everything else, it was really affecting me. And for whatever reason, numbers jumble up in my head. A lot of times, like when y'all see me doing my Bible questions and stuff like that, and I might say something about a verse or something, you've probably noticed I don't say like just an example like Matthew verse 12, chapter whatever. It's because I know what it says, but the numbers jumble up in my head and I can't keep them straight. And I've been that way ever since I was a kid. And so in school, you know, you're starting to get into a little bit more math and stuff. And in the fourth grade, like even when I was writing letters, like if I'm writing or something, my handwriting's terrible. But a lot of the times, like if I draw like a H, I have to go back over it. I can't just do it once. I have to go back and like do it again. And again, I don't know why I'm doing these things. I think I'm just whatever. And what makes it even worse, I had a teacher at the school, and to this day, I cannot tell you why she treated me this way. I have no earthly idea, because I was not a bad kid in school, nothing. She would like basically make fun of me. Um, I had a lot of friends, so people didn't pick on me or nothing like that. You know, a lot of friends. But perfect example, when I draw a 9, is a certain way I do it, and then when I go back over it, it makes it look kind of funny and weird. Instead of her like seeing what was going on, she made me get up in front of the whole class at the chalkboard and just write the number 9 over and over and over and over again. And the whole class was kind of snickering and laughing and stuff, and I'm embarrassed. And while I'm doing it, you can tell us the number like 9, but oh, you're just doing it so wrong. I don't. It's like this. Look, do it like this, and then I do it, and oh, hi, and just laughing and like I don't know why you can't do it. She was just being very mean about it, and again, I don't know why she done that to me, but she did. So this makes me start hating school, and to make it even worse, when you're in those low grades like that, you know, like after lunch, they would like cut the lights off and some people would take naps and whatever. I never did that. I never did that. I would just draw or do something. But one day in particular, I must have been pretty tired or something. So this one day, I actually fell asleep during that little time period. Well, normally, if somebody else fell asleep before they went outside to play, they would wake them up. It's time to go outside. I wake up in a dark classroom by myself. I'm looking around, nobody in sight. I'm like, what's going on? I go look out the window. They're outside playing on the playground. She had left me in there. Now, any other day, if there's another person, she'd tell them to wake them up. And for whatever reason, no, leave him in there by himself. So this is the kind of stuff was happening to me. This made me hate school. I got to the point where I was like, I hated it. And I started running away from school. I would get off the school bus, or either my parents dropped me off, whatever. I would like walk my little sister to her classroom, and then I'd walk right out the door and just leave school. And one day, like, I guess they noticed I was gone. I lived about 20, 25 minutes from the school. I was going to walk home one day. I'm like 10 years old, and I'm going to walk home. So I'm walking down the road, and my mother comes driving by and sees me walking. She stops, like, "What are you doing?" I tell her I'm going home because I didn't want to be in school no more. And so that's how bad it got. And of course, the counselors and stuff, they won't listen. I'm telling them the teacher's making fun of me. And my parents is listening, but of course you got these counselors and stuff. Oh, there's something else going on here. And again, I'm still undiagnosed with this OCD because it's not a thing. So, oh no, there's something else going on. So they're making me have to do this and that and this and that. Finally, my parents is like, that's it. Yeah, we know what's wrong here. Forget this. And they take me out of that school. They put me in another school. I run away from it the first day I got there. And then I was like, they were like, look, it's going to be different here. Just try it. So I was like, okay. I got way better teachers. Immediately making friends there. I start liking school. I start back going to school. Everything is going good with that again. All right. Now I'm getting into like the junior high school. Again, I'm an athlete, and I don't say this boasting. This is going to come into play later. That's why I'm saying this. And I'm still leaving a lot of stuff out. But I'm a good athlete, especially in football. And I'm winning awards. I'm a captain on the team. Everything's going really good. I'm an offensive and defensive player. I mean, it's going good. And I wanted to be in the NFL one day. And that was my dreams then. You know, I was going to be a professional athlete. I remember a teacher asked me, "What you can do when you grow up?" "I'm gonna be a professional athlete." "Well, that's good, but what's your backup plan?" "I don't have a backup plan. I'm gonna be a professional athlete." "Yeah, okay." And so that's how committed I was. And but the problem is I'm still going. As I'm getting older, like I said, I've learned how to kind of conceal this OCD and keep people from seeing it, knowing about it. I've got really good at hiding it. And it is getting a little better, you know. And, but now I'm starting to get into girls. I'm starting to try to, sneak in beer and whatever. And see, here's where problems really start to come in. I realize I like to drink. And so I'm drinking more. And my parents don't know about this now. You know, when you go off to friends' houses and stuff, it's easy, because my parents, they didn't drink none of that, the stuff in the house. But you got other friends' parents that maybe do have something in the house, whatever. And so anyway, I start drinking, and I say I love to drink. I'm drinking more and more and more, hiding it, of course. And I start not wanting to go to school. I'm starting to mess up. I'm missing too many days. Now they tell me, like, you're going to be in trouble on the sports stuff if you don't straighten up, but I won't listen. I'm still going. I'm still going. And then I end up getting in trouble with the law. I'm drinking and stuff and not going to school, and I get in trouble with the law. I get in bad trouble, nothing that would like hurt anybody or nothing like that. But I get in trouble with the law. And now, because of this, I'm 15 years old. You know, they tell me you can't go back to school anymore, which makes no sense to me, but at the time, there was nothing we could do about it. You can't go back to school anymore. You got to get a GED. Nothing we could do about it. So, my dreams of playing in the NFL, all this is gone now. I'm devastated. And I'm like, oh man, so I go get my GED. I'm doing, I like, because of where I got in trouble, let me kind of rewind a little bit. When I get in trouble, they charge me as an adult, even though I'm 15. But instead of sending me to prison, they try to send me to a boot camp place. Well, I had like seasonal allergies growing up. I would have to use an inhaler just sometimes because, like I said, athletic, I don't need it. But every now and then, I would need an inhaler during seasonal allergies. Just so happened before I went, one of my best friends got bronchitis or something and must have given it to me. I had to go to the doctor. They give me antibiotics and all this kind of stuff, and he gives me like some new inhalers and stuff. Well, when I go to this place, they're like, well, you're not. If you've had history of stuff like this, you can't do this stuff. So they said, well, instead you're going to jail. So they put me in a jail cell, and I have to stay there for a while. It's like a few hours away. It's in North Carolina, but a few hours away. One quick story about that. I'm in there. Luckily, the people I was in there with was good. They were cool dudes. And one of them, they slowly get gone. I'm still there by myself. This one dude comes in. He's crazy. He's talking about he's gonna break out. He's literally shaking the bars trying to break out the window. And I'm like, dude, I'm getting ready to go home. I'm in enough trouble. Chill out. This guy's going crazy. I'm like, that's it. I like tell them like I don't feel good. So they got me away from him, took me to like a nurse or something. And I'm thinking, okay, good. Well, no, after a few hours, they're like, you got to go back in there. So I'm thinking, well, it's late at night. Maybe this dude's asleep and he's chilled out. I go sneaking in there, go to get back on my little bunk. They close the cell door. I lay down. I'm like, finally, this guy's, hey man, you back? I'm like, oh no. Hey man, yeah, we can still break out here. But anyway, sorry. But anyway, I get out of there. Thankfully, get away from him before he does something wacky, crazy. And I get back home, do the GD, and where I've got so much community service, I had done community service for like a year for the little town there where I live at. And I had done community service there so long, they offered me a job because I knew how to do the stuff so good. So I get a job there and everything's going good. And one of the girls that I had dated in school, I was really popular. I had a lot of friends. Of course, I had girlfriends and stuff like that. But this one girl in particular, we always dated on and off. And I was driving a tractor through the intersection of the little town, and I hear somebody hollering at me. I turn and look, she's beside me in the car. She had been off like to college and had come home or whatever, or was just getting ready to start college and had come home though before she went. And like just so happened we got kind of reunited, whatever. So this will come into play later too. It's like something always brought me and her back together, kind of. And anyway, so we are staying in touch, not dating, but staying in touch. I end up quitting that job because I'm young. It was a good job, but I'm still wanting to do stuff. I'm still partying. That's all I wanted to do. I'm looking at it like my dreams of an athlete's gone. All this is gone. I'm just gonna party, and at this point, it's not just drinking. Now I'm doing all kind of bad stuff. The hard stuff's coming in too, and just watching what I say. Something that looks like snow, well, I loved it. I couldn't get enough of it. It was mainly alcohol that's always been my problem, but when I got the taste for that too, oh man, that's a bad mixture. And so I'm doing this stuff, and I actually get a chance to be a professional athlete again. There's a guy, very, very well known boxing manager, and another boxing trainer, very well known in my area. I meet them. I'm athletic. He knows it. You want to come box with me? Sure. I'm doing it. I'm hanging out with boxers just coming in and out of there. I'm not, like I said, out of respect, I'm not saying names, but between these two trainers, they train like 20 some world champions throughout the different weight classes. And so here I am yet again, got a chance to be a professional athlete, and I'm doing good at it. And everything's going. I'm hanging out with these boxers. I mean, some of them's on TV, and I'm like walking around the mall with them. I'm like thinking I'm hot stuff, you know. And again, I'm already popular and know a lot of people, and especially going to two different schools, you meet even more people. Now so I've got people that I don't even know coming up to me, talking to me like they're my best friend because they know I'm, you know, I guess they think I'm getting ready to be some big professional athlete or something. But anyway, but I'm still partying. I'm still partying, and I go out the door, and the phone rings. I mean, I'm literally almost out of the door getting ready to leave, and the phone rings. It's that same girl that I dated on and off before. And I'm like, you just barely caught me. I was literally going out the door. She wants me to come hang out with her. So I go up there to this college town where she's going to college, about 45 minutes up the road. And we're hanging out. And next thing you know, we're living together and together. And again, I'm not condoning any of it. You know, all the partying, drinking, anything bad like this, please, I'm not condoning it. This is just part of my testimony. So it's all wrong. Shouldn't have been doing it, but you'll see where everything leads to eventually, hopefully. All of this has got something to do with it. And anyway, we're hanging out. Now not only am I partying, I'm partying in a college town that is very well known for partying. And I mean, it's just full on. Everything goes just as wild as you can be. Well, because I'm doing this, I clearly am not training to be a boxer. So I quit that. And believe me, there's been times when I was like, you idiot. You had it made. But God has a plan. All right. So, yet again, that was two different times I had a chance to potentially be a professional athlete and make a lot of money. And because of my drinking and partying, it got destroyed. But again, God has a plan for us all. And I think that He put me in certain situations because if I would have become a professional athlete and I would have made a lot of money, I probably would not be talking to you right now. Because as much as I love doing that stuff I told you I love doing, it would have probably unalived me very quick. Because I'd have been, I mean, if you got a never ending supply of money, as bad as I was, yeah, I wouldn't. I'm pretty certain I would not have survived it. So thank the Lord that I did not get to that point. So when everybody says the Lord has a purpose for everything and everything happens for a reason, it's the truth. Well, me and this girl, we're living together, and again, I'm not condoning that, but you'll see where it leads to. Well, she's got a girl that she works with. Hey, I need somewhere to stay too. Let's all move in together and be like three roommates. So that's what we do. I'm like John Ritter on Three's Company. I'm like living with two women. It was not like that. She was just the friend, but that's what I felt like. I'm like, man, like Three's Company, dude. This is awesome. And we stayed together for about a year. I think that's what the lease was. I'm working odds and ends jobs. I had always worked. I loved cooking. I actually wanted to be like Emerald when I was younger. I used to watch him all the time, and I had worked in like little fast food restaurant place and other little restaurants and stuff, and everything. And I'm doing construction, whatever work I could get, I'm doing. And I'm working, and I'm doing this like construction type stuff, and everything's going okay, but then I quit working there and I start working at this restaurant and like I'm running like an oyster bar. Everything's going great, but my drinking. Before I got off at work at night, I'm like, okay, I got about an hour before I get off at work and it's nighttime. I'd already go get like a styrofoam cup or something and fill beer in it and be sipping on it, drinking it while I was running the oyster bar. Everybody in there was basically doing stuff like that. And then when I got off work, by the time I got home, there was that snow stuff I was talking about waiting for me on the table when I got home. And this is happening like every night. And so, and it's bad, and it's getting bad, and it's getting bad. Well, finally, this little restaurant place, it closes down. So I'm like, well, now what am I going to do? So I'm still just doing whatever jobs I can get. You know, it's hard to have money because of everything with all the drinking and partying. And then one day, I come home from work, I open the front door, and I come in, and my girlfriend at the time standing there like she was waiting for me to get home. And she's got a smile on her face, kind of looking at me. I come walking in, I'm tired, I'm ready to eat and just get cleaned up and rest. I come walking, I'm like, what is it? She was like, I got something to show you. I'm like, what is it? She said, go in the bathroom and look beside the sink on the counter. And I'm going to tell you, before, just a few moments before I walked through that front door, I had no clue that within the next couple of minutes, my life was getting ready to change forever. And I'm going to leave this part at that. And I will promise you I will pick up the next part within a few days or so, because this is already at 26 minutes and I don't want to bore y'all too bad. But I promise I will pick this up. And there's a whole lot more. I'm probably going to have to do two more parts. And there's a lot that I'm leaving out. But there's just too many people. I can't say names because I want to be respectful to people. And there's just so much that I'm really leaving out. But for the sake of time, and because I'm trying to use the most important stuff that actually has the most to do with my testimony. So anyway, I promise you I'll let you know in a few days. I'll put the second part up here. If you want to hear the rest of it, please subscribe to my channel. And don't forget, I do my little videos in the morning with the Bible questions and then the Bible studies and all that. If you've not done so, please subscribe to my channel. Please hit that bell notification so you know when I put these new videos up. And I'll try to let you know right before I put the next part to this testimony up. But hit that bell notification so you know when I put it up. Subscribe. Please like the video. Please help me get it out to as many people as I can. And thank you all so much for listening. It's hard for me to talk about some of this stuff, but Jesus had a plan for my life, and I promise you, you don't want to miss what's coming up, because it's getting ready to get really interesting here in this next part. So God bless you. I love you. Thank you. And I will talk to you again soon in the next video in the comment section. Jesus is King.